Welcome to another highly informative episode of Life Experiences with William Pelarenos. I am your host, William Pelarenos, and I have the pleasure of having an attorney from the Veterans Legal Aid Society with me today, Mr. Ken Allen. Thank you for coming today.
Well, Bill, it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you very much for having me.
And the backstory is I go to a lot of veterans group meetings, and Kenneth was a guest speaker at the Veterans Roundtable 2 weeks ago in Des Plaines. He assists veterans with some legal issues. So I told him, hey, Ken, you got to come on the show. You got to put it on the air, what your association does. And thank God he took the afternoon off today, and he's here with us. So he's going to tell us what their mission is, their mission statement, and how they can help veterans. So I turn it over to you, Kenneth. How are you?
Very good. Very good. Again, thank you for having me here, Bill. So I'm an Army veteran, and I'm an attorney, and I'm here on behalf of my organization, which is a private, nonprofit organization. And what we do is provide veterans with legal assistance. We also have educational outreach, and we focus on all sorts of issues people can call in. Sometimes we go to many veterans events, as Bill just referred to, and we have a table. People can come up to us, veterans and their families, and we can give them legal assistance. So one of the services that we have is, especially that Bill mentioned, at the group that we visited, we talk about some aspects of estate planning. This is very valuable for everyone, anyone over 18. This is called a healthcare power of attorney. So we, at these different events, if we're giving a talk, we talk about it, and if anyone would like one, we offer that for free. So this is just, again, one service that we provide. A healthcare power of attorney is a very important document, and this allows an individual to appoint someone to make healthcare decisions on their behalf. And what this does is it becomes effective if you are unable, because of medical reasons, you're incapacitated, you can't make medical decisions for yourself. This document is different. A lot of times people think that it's the same as a living will. There are two different documents, and I'm going to talk a little more about them as we go on. So first of all, what is a living will? So a living will is a document that goes over an individual's wishes when they become terminally ill or permanently unconscious. Now, the difference, as we'll start to explore a little bit here, is it focuses on end-of-life care and specific treatments. So it's a much more, shall we say, restrictive document. It's very, very specific. And unlike a healthcare power of attorney, it does not appoint someone as an agent who can make decisions for you as the whatever your situation goes on. So it's a lot more specific. So again, a living will is really applies to end-of-life situations, and the healthcare power of attorney is more for a wide range of medical decisions. The healthcare power of attorney is much more flexible, and it can apply to any number of situations. And what it does is it allows the agent a person that you choose and that you have a lot of trust in, and with whom you've reviewed your religious preferences, what you would like as far as medical treatments, in general, all sorts of things that are, some very serious decisions. Someone who really knows you, you select this person, you review these things with them, you make sure they agree to undertake these responsibilities if they have to. So it's much more flexible, whereas a living will is limited to very predefined scenarios. So oftentimes the question comes up, should you have both? Well, as with the law, a lot of answers are not always exact. You can have both. Uh, our organization, though, recommends you really should just have one or the other. And we really sort of stress that the healthcare power of attorney is much more flexible because that document can address both situations. And it's also stronger because it can appoint an advocate who acts on your behalf and can make decisions on your behalf. Now, is this kind of document valid in every state? Well, the answer is generally yes. Each state, though, may have its own laws. So, what you want to do is if you have one in Illinois, you should think, well, am I going to be visiting Florida as many people do and staying there for several months every year, that kind of thing. If you're in that kind of situation, it would probably be very wise to consult an attorney in Florida just to make sure that what you have here can be recognized in that, we call them in the law, jurisdiction. Because this kind of law is very much state specific. It should be okay, but again, if your lifestyle is such that you're going to spend a lot of time and you know that on a regular basis, or you're going to spend, say, some very significant amount of time in another state, you would want to go talk to an attorney there. Some of the considerations, we suggest using a uniform form. You can download a form for free from the Illinois Department of Public Health. You can have your own. Your attorney can provide one for you. What you want to make sure, though, in Illinois at least, and again, depending on whether you're in another state, but Illinois, you need to have a witness. You do not need to have it notarized, but you need to have a witness. In Illinois, the document is not registered. You don't have to send it into any place, but you just need to keep it in a place where you make sure that your agent is familiar with where it is and it can be gotten and procured very quickly. Why is this important? Why should you even have this? What's sort of the big deal? Well, this document is something obviously we hope no one ever has to use. But as we all know, sometimes situations arise and a person can become incapable of making medical decisions. Certainly, as many people have, I've been in that position. I had a family member who could no longer make medical decisions for herself, and it was not a pleasant job, but I had already discussed with this person what her wishes were. This is my grandmother. She trusted me, and I knew that the kind of additional procedure that was recommended for her was just not something that she would have wished to have. So that's the kind of thing that comes up. A big reason to have this, though, is you want to avoid having a court get involved. If someone is declared incapable of making decisions, or what's called incapacitated, a court could appoint a guardian. Having a guardianship is a very onerous idea. It imposes a lot of duties on a family. A stranger, namely a judge, may be making decisions. A guardian and a stranger appointed by a judge may be making decisions for someone's health care and very serious medical decisions. So this certainly may be what they wanted. It may not be what they wanted. In any event, having to go to court, having to provide an annual report, it's public. This all certainly may not be what anyone would wish to have. Having a valid healthcare power of attorney in place could avoid that kind of a situation. Um, let's talk a little bit about, who should be an agent. So I've already hinted and mentioned here, and now I'm going to stress that choosing an agent is a very, very serious decision. It should be, of course, someone that you trust. Obviously, in many cases, it's the spouse. In my personal case, it's my spouse, and vice versa. But it certainly can be someone else, a family member, a close friend, someone for sure who understands your values, your beliefs, and your medical preferences. And as hard as this may be, you should have a very, very serious, in-depth discussion with this person before you choose this person and before they agree to serve as your agent. So some of the key provisions in this kind of document are that agent authority, where the scope of the agent's powers are specified, and you can tailor this to whatever you feel is appropriate for you. End of life decisions, where you clarify whether you want to get all life sustaining treatments or there is a point at which you just don't want any more. Organ donation, mental health treatments, and very importantly, the HIPAA, HIPAA, HIPAA authorization, which, as we all know, anytime we go to a hospital or a medical clinic, there's always a HIPAA form, whether you agree to grant access to medical records to your, in this case, your agent. So as you can see, there are many, many individual wishes and many tailoring features of this. And even the state form that you can download that I mentioned offers you a lot of flexibility and gives you, there's boxes that you can check whether and generally you lean to this or lean to that. But then there's blanks where you can fill it in and you can tailor it to whatever you like. And I'd like to stress too at this time that this is not cast in concrete. You can change it anytime you like. Again, you just need a witness. It does not need to be notarized, but you should keep it in a place where you and your agent can easily access it. A feature that you definitely want to put in is the current one, if you change it, the current healthcare power of attorney revokes the previous ones so that there's no confusion about which one is valid. And who's going to check the validity? Well, you would be, or your agent would be presenting this to your healthcare provider or to a hospital. And frequently, when you go to a clinic, when you go to a hospital, these days, they often ask you, do you have one? Because they want to know. And if you're about to undergo some type of surgery, things don't work out, they want to know that this is in place. Again, hope that it's never used, certainly not something that you be using every day, but just having this in place could save you agony. It could save your family a lot of distress. Family members, of course, can disagree, but this document will make things very clear, and then people know what to do. So some mistakes to avoid in this type of document are you would want to make sure that you don't fail to discuss your preferences with the agent that you appoint. So you want to make sure the agent, whoever you choose, is very well versed with your wishes and with your view of life and what you want if you become medically incapacitated. Another mistake is you don't want to select an agent who won't make decisions. These, as I certainly found in my own situation, they're not easy decisions to make. They're not pleasant situations. So you need someone that you trust who can act for you and do what you would want in this kind of a situation. Another mistake is not updating the document. So if there's been some major change to your life, you want to make sure you update it. And really, it's like a lot of estate planning documents. It's like your insurance. It's the kind of thing where you should just at least look at it once a year, once every other year. You should just go back and review it and make sure it is what you want. And finally, a mistake to avoid is not having the document accessible to you when it's needed, or accessible to who needs to have it. So, really, to wrap up, this is a little piece of general advice. I obviously don't have the time, and I can't go into all the details. If you want very, very specific advice, it's always good to see your own attorney. Our organization can answer general questions if you have them. Our organization can provide you with this document, ask you questions, and make sure that you filled it out in the way that best honors and respects your wishes and your interests. Think about selecting an agent very carefully and make sure you have a good conversation about your wishes. And then finally, you should review the document on a regular basis. Again, certainly nothing you need to do all the time, but every year, every other year, that kind of thing, as well as any other estate planning documents that you have.
I got a couple quick questions for you, Ken. Just so to clarify, because this is new to a lot of our listeners, and when you were talking to those veterans, it was new to them. So your society, your organization to help out veterans create this form is free, correct?
Yes. Anything our organization does directly is free. If someone comes up to me at a table at a veterans event and asks for any legal advice, that is all free. And if someone calls me up, if I help them with something and I do it directly, this is all free.
And let's put his card up there with his contact information so people know. There we go. Kenneth Allen. And you want to read that off, Ken?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's me, Kenneth Allen, and I am reached at that phone, 331-224-2049. That is probably the easiest way to get me. Another very easy way is my email. It's a little long, but it's very easy. It's Ken A for Ken Allen. So just 4 letters, no spaces, no periods, at veteranslegalaid.org. And that's veterans with an S, VETERANS.
One more time on that email and that phone number, please.
Oh, certainly. The phone number is 331-224-2049. And the email is Kena, Kena, at veterans, plural, veteranslegalaid.org.
Very good. Very good. The reason I told you to repeat twice, we have audio listeners. Not everybody's following us on YouTube.
Of course.
But this will be archived on YouTube. So the other thing is, when you say selecting an agent, a lot of people may be confused. That agent does not have to be an attorney or a professional. It's a person that you trust, correct?
Oh, absolutely. No, you do not need an attorney for this. You can really do it yourself, and you certainly can download this form yourself. And the agent can be anyone. They do not need any qualifications whatsoever. They should be someone over 18. They should be an adult. But the most important thing is they should be someone that you know and trust, with whom you have reviewed your personal desires in the event of incapacitation.
You know, I thought about something you were telling, and you made a good point. If you go into another state, you should check another state. But there's people that have gone on cruises and become incapacitated. And I know of one case where a man had a stroke on a cruise. They had to bring him to some island to get a medical help. So anything can happen anywhere. It would probably be a good idea to have a copy of this paper document with your paperwork when traveling, right?
Oh, that would, Bill, that's a very good suggestion. Yes, especially if you're going on a lengthy trip and somewhere, cruise is a great example.
And the agent that you pick, I would suggest having all their contact information on that document.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if somebody has to go through your belongings to find out who do we contact for this, here's an email, but it's a Friday afternoon. Who's looking at their emails?
Yeah.
You need phone numbers. You need text messages.
That's right.
So it's important. And I've done episodes on planning for emergency situations like this and estate planning. Now, if they call your office up, that call is for free, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
That consultation, I should say.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So, but what if a veteran wants something a little more complicated? You can direct them to an attorney or somebody that can help them, right?
So it all depends on the individual situation. If it is obvious to me that the veteran has no money, to be very blunt about it, then we will try as an organization to do whatever we can for this person for free. And certainly there are many other legal aid organizations. We try to have relationships with others. We try to be what we call in the military a force multiplier. If they have an issue in a certain county in Illinois that's maybe far from here, we try to hook them up with some kind of legal aid in that county. It just all depends on the situation. If they can afford an attorney, they, for example, do have some assets, then we might refer them to an estate planning attorney and sit down with them and review all of their documents and all of the whole situation that they have.
I want to thank you for being here today, but before we go, put up the mission statement one more time. So this is a great organization. I am glad. I'm glad you're getting the word out about this. There you go. There's your mission statement. Let's go through it one more time, and then we'll call it a day.
Sure. Yeah, we're a very small, private, nonprofit dedicated to helping veterans and their families with their legal issues. So we provide, the mission statement is just as it's very simple, provide legal assistance to veterans and their families.
All right. Thank you, Kenneth, for being here. I appreciate you taking the time off. We got the message out. Follow me on Facebook at Pelarenos Police Project. I always put important stuff on there, and I'll post a blurb about Kenneth's interview today. And on Twitter, I am at Police Project 1. This is William Pelarenos signing off, and have a great week.